New tonight, the Call 7 investigators uncovering new information on the prosecution of felonies in Denver. Call 7 investigator Kelly Raybon breaking the story of high case refusal rates by the Denver District Attorney's Office. Now, Kelly, you found a possible reason.
Mike, we found Denver DA Mitch Morrissey's office declines more than 70% of the felony sex assaults police bring to his office. Now there are questions about whether his bar for filing charges is too high.
My fear is that meritorious cases are falling through the cracks.
University of Denver professor and former New York City prosecutor Chris Michio is concerned that so many reported crimes in Denver aren't resulting in criminal charges.
There may be complainants out there who had a case, who needed their day in court, and they didn't get it.
2 weeks ago, a Call 7 investigation revealed the Denver District Attorney declines to prosecute 36% of all felony cases and 71% of felony sexual assaults, a rate higher than any other judicial district we examined in Colorado and across the country.
Well, we don't do it based on statistics.
In that story, we weren't able to ascertain the reason why, but Michio says the office may be refusing cases that aren't a slam dunk.
It's a very, very high standard, as it should be, for the trial.
We interviewed Michio for our initial investigation. But before the story even aired, the district attorney's spokeswoman contacted her, attempting to discredit our story and the statistics the DA provided us.
In that conversation, I learned that at the front end, at the intake stage, the district attorney's office doesn't use reasonable likelihood of success, but beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the trial standard.
Beyond a reasonable doubt. You've heard that when it comes to a jury deciding the case. But Michio says DAs should use the lower standard of likelihood of success in deciding whether to file charges. If they don't, too many cases would never get to a charge or a jury.
My question to the DA is, why are you putting the reasonable doubt standard at the front end before you have most of the information that you need?
And in discussions and emails with Call 7 investigators, DA officials seem to use both standards interchangeably. In this email to Call 7, the DA's spokeswoman, Lynn Kimbrough, says, quote, "The standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt has been the filing standard of the Denver District Attorney's Office for pretty much forever." And in a recent meeting with Call 7 investigators recorded by the DA and obtained by 7 News, Denver District Attorney Mitch Morrissey says it too, then changes his story.
It's done by a case-by-case analysis to determine if we can prove the charges, whatever charges they are, beyond a reasonable doubt, with a reasonable likelihood of conviction.
Morrissey later says his prosecutors follow the standard recommended by the National District Attorneys Association, which is reasonable likelihood of success. That's the standard other Colorado district attorneys use, like Jefferson County DA Peter Weir.
It's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt, which is our ultimate standard at trial. But at the initial screening of a case, the standard is a reasonable likelihood for success at trial.
Michio, who prosecuted sex crimes, says the reasonable doubt standard, especially early on, may result in offenders going free and victims left without justice.
I'm sure that the people of the state of Colorado and Denver County would like to know why the statistic is the way it is. What is your process in terms of intake?
Like for our initial story, Morrissey would not interview about his filing standards. His office issued a statement that in part said, quote, "The filing standard of having a reasonable likelihood of conviction to file a case is reached when we believe that we can prove the charge to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt. These are not mutually exclusive." We also talked to some former prosecutors who believed Morrissey's standard is the correct one, while others thought that it was too stringent, especially at intake of the case. Live in the newsroom, I'm Call 7 investigator Kelly Raybon.